Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. In today's video I am going to be doing 3 Draw This in Your Style challenge speed paints that I found on Instagram. If you're not aware of the challenge, then the idea is that artists post up an original drawing for others to draw in their own way or style. The challenge originally started last year in the summer, or that's the first time I came across it anyway. But I didn't have the time to participate then, so when I saw that it seemed to be starting up again just a few weeks ago, I decided that I would jump in and give it a go, as I have had Christmas holidays, so I've had a little bit more time to play around and do some sketching. So this first one is by an artist called Natalia Dias, or Natalia DSW on Instagram is her handle. And I'll put all the links below to the artists that I have done in the description. And this drawing enticed me because I just loved the hair. I loved the blues and the long plaits, so I decided that I was going to do this one. And I actually did this one first as a rough sketch in my sketchbook, and I actually liked that a lot better than the sketch that I did on this paper. But you know, you can't win them all, can you? And it's good to do some practicing. And the reason I didn't do it in my sketchbook in the end, because I can't colour it in with Promarkers in there. So I decided to sketch it out on a piece of card that I could use Promarkers instead. But I just felt that she didn't look quite as free and, what's the word? That she had so much movement. She felt a bit more stiff on the drawing that I did on the piece of card. So once I had done the sketch, I was a little unsure what to do, as I really don't like doing pen line work. So with this first one, I did try to colour first and then go around doing the outlines with some Polychromos pencils. But I switched that around in drawings 2 and 3, as you'll see in a few minutes, because I just noticed that when I coloured especially the face on this one, her eyes ended up getting smaller and her mouth ended up being a bit wonky. So I decided that if I went round with the outline first, then it was probably going to be a bit more successful. So I did that with my Polychromos pencils. I do feel like I messed up a little bit on the hair on this one. I didn't have the right in-between colours between the really bold blues and the lighter blues, and I think the contrast was just a little bit too stark. I could have done with another 1 or 2 shades in there just to make it look a little bit more seamless. I guess it's just a reason that I need to buy some more Promarkers, or find a way to get the in-betweeny colours somehow without buying more Promarkers. But anyway, I was pretty impressed with how this one turned out. She's got a little bit of a stern look and her eyes are a little bit squinty, but on the whole I was pretty happy with it. I think it was pretty good for a first try anyway. So this is the first one, and I'm just adding in the final details there. So on to the next one, and this one is by Art of Zodosh. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and apologies for the slightly squashed picture in the corner there. I'm not sure what happened there. It was fully formed when I copied it from Instagram, but something's obviously happened. And I really liked this one for the cute little ghost creatures that are floating around. I think they're just adorable. So this time I did the outlines first, as you can see. I sketched it out and went over it with my kneaded eraser, and then I did the outlines with my Polychromos first before going in with my Promarkers. And I feel that the colouring on this one just turned out way better than the colouring on the other one. I don't think there's really an awful lot to say about this one, to be honest. It was a lot more straightforward, and I really liked how the colouring turned out. I was a little bit dubious. In a minute you'll see that I tried to colour her cheeks and make them more rosy, and I did it by dotting on like a darker pink colour, and when I first put it on I was like, oh my goodness, no, it's way too the wrong colour. It's way too like stark, but luckily with Promarkers, once they dry they tend to lighten up a little bit, and it made a really nice freckly effect in the end. So I actually really liked the way it turned out, even though it did make me panic a little bit at first, but you'll see in a minute how it turned out. but I was pretty happy with the overall effect of this one. Again, I still think my drawings are a little bit stiff. I need to work on making them a little bit more fluidy, a little bit more loose. I tend to be able to do it a lot more in my sketchbook, but then when it comes to doing it on proper paper, and especially once colouring it in, just tends to get a bit stiff, and yeah, I don't know why. Practice, I guess. But anyway, the hair on this one turned out a lot better because I had all the in-betweeny colours, so that I could blend it from the darker colours to the lighter colours. And yeah, so this one was just much better. And there are so many awesome Draw This In Your Style challenges at the moment that it did actually make it really hard to choose which ones to do. There was another couple that were very similar in style to this that I wanted to do, but I thought no, they would end up looking too similar, and I wanted to choose a few that were just a little bit different. So the next one coming up is not at all another girl with like brown hair and looking slightly sideways. So I'll come back and talk to you about that one in a second. So this is the final Draw This In Your Style for this video that I will be doing, and this third one is by an Instagrammer called Rachel Trave or Trave, I'm not quite sure, illustration. Sorry for messing that up, but as I said, I will put the links down in the description below so that it's easy to find. And I really loved this one because I loved her kind of sassy pose, and I really loved her shirt. Her shirt was so awesome and like see-through with the stars on and everything, so I wanted to give that a go. And the skin was more of a challenge on this one, as all my browns are very kind of orangey, but as you will see in a minute, I just coloured her first entirely in a purple colour. Purple Orchid was the name of the Promarker, and that just gave a really nice undertone of purple pink colour to her skin, which made it blend in a lot more with the background and the colours on her clothes and stuff. So if you don't have the right colours, you can always put other colours underneath Promarkers, which I think is a really nice effect. It's a really good way to blend them, and you can often blend colours that you don't expect. If you put a darker colour under a lighter colour, or a lighter colour under a darker colour, you can get some really nice effects that way. So yeah, that is what I did with this one. I have to admit that her hair was a big challenge. I am not really good at doing afro styles, and I'm not really convinced that I nailed it. I just kind of did lots of kind of swirls, and yeah, it doesn't look that great, to be honest. So it's good to push your limits, and I think at least then I learned something else that I need to practice. I can add it onto my list of things to learn and things to try again, and something that hopefully I will be better at next time. So yeah, what can you say? And if you look closely, you may notice that hands are still something that I have a real struggle with. I managed to get the right hand pretty okay looking, but the left hand just looks really deformed and unnatural. And yeah, I'm going to have to keep practicing hands as well. I think that's going to be on my things to learn list forever, to be honest. I keep trying and I keep sketching them in my sketchbook, but when it actually comes down to sketching them properly on a piece, they just turn out as a disaster. It doesn't matter how many references or whatever I look at. So yeah, that's something to keep practicing, I guess. And then onto her dress. Her dress was supposed to be a bit of a mid-blue colour, and I didn't really have the right colour for the dress either. Not that you have to use the exact colour, obviously, in a Draw This In Your Style challenge, but I tried to keep very similar to the original sketch, so that you can actually tell where it came from. And but I did the same thing with this one. I put the same purple orchid undertones under the dress, and then I just used this blue Promarker a couple of times to go over it, and then I add some extra details later on. And then I'm just going in with the background. Again, the exact same purple colour in all of this really, so I could have just coloured the entire page first in this purple, I think, and then drawn over the top. But anyway, I was quite pleased with how this one turned out. I really enjoyed drawing the shirt, which you will see in a minute, and I did that just by using my white gel pen to go around the edge, and then a gold gel pen to add on the star details. And I just really loved the effects. It was really enjoyable to draw that on. And so this will be finished in a minute. But anyway, I really hope you have enjoyed watching these speed paints as much as I have enjoyed doing them. Please do feel free to give me a like or leave a comment what your thoughts are in the comments box down below. And if you enjoyed and want to see more of these sorts of videos, then please do feel free to subscribe. I make weekly art videos and I use a variety of different mediums. I use Promarkers, pastels, watercolours, all sorts. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic week and I will see you in my next video. Bye!